AI agents, they're everywhere these days, right?
Yeah.
It seems like they're poised to like revolutionize how we live and work.
Yeah, definitely.
And to help us really understand what's going on in this space, we're going to be diving into an interview with Joe Hewett.
Right.
Now, he's the CTO and co-founder of Asteroid, and they are all about making sure that AI agents are safe as they become more common online.
Yeah, I mean, it's a company that's really kind of on the front lines of where AI is going and what it can do, and really trying to address some of the issues.
Right. And what I think is so fascinating about Joe's story is this really interesting trajectory that he's had.
Right.
You know, starting out as a kid who was just captivated by Microsoft Paint.
Oh, yeah.
And then by the time he was 15, he was already building websites for businesses.
I mean, talk about like entrepreneurial spirit, right?
Right.
Starting so young, just diving in and figuring things out.
And now he's leading a company that's at the forefront of AI. It's just this incredible journey. And even before Asteroid, he was doing some pretty unconventional things with AI.
Like what?
Well, he calls it scamming the scammers.
Oh, wow.
So he was using early AI systems to basically expose and combat online fraud.
Oh, that's fascinating. So he kind of like got a glimpse into the dark side of AI early on.
And you know, you can see how that experience probably informs what he's doing now with Asteroid.
Absolutely. You know, that kind of firsthand experience with how AI can be misused probably really fueled his focus on safety.
Yeah, so let's break it down a little bit for our listeners.
Okay.
When we say AI agents, what exactly are we talking about?
Well, an AI agent, you can think of it as a system that can perceive its environment.
Okay.
Make decisions based on what it perceives, and then take actions to achieve like a specific goal.
So it's not just reacting to a command or a prompt.
And it's not.
It's actually figuring out how to get something done.
Right. It's proactively figuring out how to get things done, and that's what really sets it apart from, say, like a simple chat bot.
So like a superpowered personal assistant, but with initiative.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
And I know there's like different levels of complexity with these agents.
Yeah, that's
Can you kind of unpack that for us a little bit?
So, you know, you have some agents that are relatively straightforward, right? Maybe they're scheduling your meetings, managing your calendar, and then you have these incredibly advanced agents that can manage entire workflows or even help run a business.
Wow.
And there's this framework called the line chain framework, which is becoming a standard in this field.
Okay.
And it actually outlines these different levels of autonomy.
Okay, so now that we kind of have a basic understanding of what they are,
Right.
I think the big question that's probably on everyone's mind is what's to stop these things from going rogue?
Right. It's a valid concern, right? I mean, they're making decisions and taking actions on their own. What's to prevent them from causing problems?
Exactly.
And that is precisely the problem that Asteroid is tackling head on.
Okay, so how are they doing that?
Well, they're building what Joe calls a bumper lane for AI agents.
A bumper lane?
Okay, I like it.
Yeah, it's a great analogy.
So tell me more about how that works.
So you can imagine, you know, a bowling alley, right?
Yeah.
But instead of gutters, you have these virtual barriers that prevent the AI from going off course and doing something harmful or unintended.
Okay, so it keeps it on track.
Yeah, and they use these things called supervisors,
Okay.
which can be humans, other AI systems, or even lines of code to monitor the AI's actions.
In real time.
In real time, exactly.
So if it starts to veer off course, the supervisor can step in.
Exactly, and correct it. And what's really cool about Asteroid is that every time a supervisor corrects an agent, that data is used to refine the system. So it's like this constantly evolving safety net.
So the lane gets narrower over time. Precisely. And Joe gives us a great example in the interview about an AI agent that's working in customer support.
Okay.
So let's say this agent encounters a really complex question. It can't handle asteroid flags, the issue. It escalates it to a human supervisor.
Okay.
And then it uses that entire interaction to teach the AI how to avoid making the same mistake in the future.
So it's learning from its mistakes.
Exactly. It's constantly learning and improving, which is pretty impressive.
That's reassuring. But I think a lot of people are still worried about this idea of AI taking over their jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, if these agents are getting so sophisticated, what's to stop them from just replacing humans altogether?
It's a concern that a lot of people share.
Right.
But Joe believes that AI agents are more likely to augment human capabilities rather than replace jobs entirely.
At least for now.
At least for now, yeah.
So it's not about replacing humans, it's about making them more efficient.
Exactly. Think of it this way. Instead of having a large team of customer service agents, you might have one human supervisor overseeing a team of AI agents.
Okay, so the humans are freed up to focus on the more complex issues,
Exactly, the things that require creativity and critical thinking.
while the AI handles the more routine tasks.
Right, AI can handle the day-to-day.
Right.
Humans can focus on strategic decision-making, problem-solving.
Got it.
Those situations that require, human empathy and understanding.
Now, I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about how Joe's actually using AI to build Asteroid.
Okay.
So he's using tools like Cursor for coding,
Mm-hmm.
and he's even building his own internal AI tools like Rebase.
Right.
What can we learn from that about the future of work?
Well, it's a perfect example of what Joe calls AI native company building.
AI native company building, what does that mean?
So it's this idea that the most successful companies in the future will be built from the ground up with AI kind of woven into their DNA.
Okay.
It's like having a co-founder
It's just-
who's a tireless data-driven assistant.
Okay.
It lets you test ideas super rapidly. And what's really interesting is how Joe has turned internal tools like Rebase into potential products for other companies.
So it's not just about keeping AI agents safe, it's also about using them effectively to build a better company.
Exactly.
And Joe's clearly at the forefront of that. But it does make you wonder, if this is what's happening at the cutting edge, can smaller companies really compete,
That's a really good question.
without this level of expertise?
And it underscores the need for making AI tools and resources accessible to businesses of all sizes, because the future of work really depends on making sure that AI empowers everyone, not just a select few.
Right. It can't just be for the elite. It has to be for everyone.
Exactly. AI needs to be a tool that levels the playing field, not one that creates a wider gap.
So we've talked about the technology.
Mhm.
We've talked about the potential benefits, the challenges.
Right.
But what does all this mean for us, the average person? How will AI agents actually impact our daily lives?
Well, imagine a world where you have a team of AI agents working for you 24/7, right? Handling things like managing your emails,
Okay.
scheduling your appointments, maybe even making travel arrangements for you.
So it's like having a personal assistant without the hassle of managing another person.
Exactly. AI agents could free up so much of our time and mental energy, allowing people to really focus on things that they truly enjoy. Whether that's spending more time with family and friends, pursuing creative endeavors, or just taking a well-deserved break.
I'm all for that. But even if we can move past the fear of AI taking over the world, I think there's still this question of trust.
Right.
I mean, can we really rely on these AI agents to act in our best interest, especially when they're making decisions that could have real impact on our lives?
Trust is paramount.
Yeah.
It's something that developers are very, very aware of. And so building AI systems that are not only intelligent, but also ethical, transparent, and accountable is essential.
So it's not just about solving the technical challenges.
It's not.
It's also about addressing the philosophical and ethical implications.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important to have these open and honest conversations about AI.
Right.
We need to be asking ourselves what role we want these agents to play in our lives.
Yeah.
And what safeguards need to be put in place.
One thing that really struck me about Joe
Yeah.
is that he talks a lot about his passion for climbing
Oh, right.
and how much he enjoys disconnecting from technology
Yeah.
and just being out in nature.
Interesting.
And it seems almost counterintuitive given the work that he does.
It does, doesn't it? But
Yeah.
maybe it's precisely because of the work he does
Right.
that he values those moments of disconnection
Yeah.
and solitude so much.
Maybe it's a reminder that, as AI becomes more and more integrated into our lives,
Mm-hmm.
those human experiences, those moments of genuine connection
Mm-hmm.
with ourselves, with the natural world, are going to become even more precious.
It's a really good point. As we delegate more and more tasks to AI,
Yeah.
we have to be mindful of our own well-being
Right.
and make sure we're not losing sight of the things that make us human.
And that brings us to Joe's other passion,
Oh, yeah.
neurotechnology.
Oh, wow.
He's fascinated by the potential of brain-computer interfaces, which is this idea of actually merging AI with human cognition.
It's a concept that is both exhilarating and a bit unsettling.
Right.
I mean, on the one hand, it could unlock incredible possibilities for human potential, right? Like enhancing our cognitive abilities, curing diseases,
Yeah.
creating entirely new forms of art and expression. But on the other hand,
It's a little scary.
it is a little scary, and it raises some really profound ethical dilemmas.
Absolutely.
If our minds are directly connected to AI,
Mhm.
what happens to our sense of self?
Right. Who's in control?
exactly who controls our thoughts and actions?
It's really profound.
It is, and these are questions that we're going to have to grapple with as
Yeah.
this technology continues to evolve.